What's up, Dream Team? So I'm coming to you live. It's a Sunday. I just finished my ED rotation. I'm going into my L&D rotation tomorrow. Just wanted to jump on and kind of like close things off from ED because I don't think I really posted a lot either on social media, so Instagram, Facebook, about ED. I did post a reel and a video both on Facebook and on IG, basically kind of telling you how I was preparing for my emergency medicine rotation, but now I'm kind of closing it out. So over 4 weeks, at least 16 shifts in that 4-week period. And most of the shifts are 8 hours, but however you stay later due to sign out and finishing your notes. And if your patients need to be dispo, meaning they need to either be discharged and you haven't finished, they need to be admitted to an inpatient team or some other like loose ends that you have to finish. For me, emergency medicine, again, is hospital medicine. So not necessarily my favorite type of medicine, because y'all know I said it before, I'm an outpatient person. But I did find emergency medicine to be helpful in the sense that it gave me an idea of how sometimes management in an emergency department setting may be slightly different than what you would do inpatient and outpatient, and reasons why that may potentially be. Because I would say in the emergency medicine setting, you were trying to find out what could kill this person, versus in an inpatient setting, your goal is to keep this person alive. If you get what I'm saying, like they sound the same, but they're different. Person comes into the emergency department with stomach pain. Your goal is to make sure it's nothing emergent, crazy, to the point that they would need surgery or they could potentially die due to peritonitis or due to, some type of obstruction or hematoma in the abdomen that they could die from. So those are the type of things. Most of the patients I saw had cardiovascular issues or complaints, so chest pain. There was some shortness of breath. There was some abdominal pain, nausea, and vomiting. There were people with just random upper respiratory symptoms as well that was related to flu, COVID, etc. I did have some COVID exposures and patients that did not necessarily know they had COVID, but came because of, some type of symptoms that brought them into the ED. Saw a lot of patients that were there and needed psych evaluations. There were a lot of homelessness in the emergency department setting. And sometimes with our patients, the disposition, meaning what will we do after we send them to treatment, is really discharging them to their self, because there's nothing acutely going on that will require them to be admitted. And there's nothing that we could do more on a management level in the emergency department to require them to stay with us any longer. Again, you either admit them to an inpatient team. There's also my emergency department, which I'm not sure. Again, I'm not very versed on emergency departments, but we had a CDU team and an IOU team. CDU is if they have one complaint, but they need additional observation, or they need to finish out maybe a day course of IV antibiotics, or to make sure their shortness of breath has resolved with their dual NEBS treatment. Then IOU could be someone who may need 1 to 2 days of observation and a little bit more critical care than CDU could provide, but not as critical care as an inpatient stint would need to be. So yeah, again, emergency department for my particular hospital is really staffed by the emergency medicine residents. They also have off-service residents such as myself that come in. Some of the off-service residents that I got to work with were people in neurology, internal medicine, and those were the only 2 sets that I actually got to work with. I'm quite sure other, also I had a surgery resident who was coming on to the shift I was leaving. She did that as her elective. I saw some OB residents that were also in the emergency room department. And just for the trajectory, in my personal opinion, of family medicine, having an opportunity to rotate in emergency medicine is a great exposure, but it's not necessarily necessary. There are other type of settings in which you could probably get the same type of exposure, or exposure that may be more correlated to your career trajectory. I would say for programs that may have a track for family medicine physicians who want to be hospitalists or want to potentially be ER providers, then that will be a great opportunity for them. However, just from my limited understanding, I don't think there are a lot of major cities that allow family medicine physicians to be ER providers. Those are things that you may find in tertiary care centers or centers that are in rural areas that may not have the opportunity to have a vast majority of different specialties there. They will rely on maybe a family medicine or primary care physician who has that skill set to be a emergency room provider. All in all, I am glad that I had the experience. Don't necessarily need another experience in it, but appreciated the exposure. I did not get to participate in any resuscitation of patients, intubations of patients. I did do an IND of an abscess. I did a few rectal exams, had the opportunity to watch a pelvic exam. I saw many ultrasound guided IVs. I also saw POCUSes, which were point of care ultrasounds done on patients to either look at the appendix, to look at the IVC, to look at the heart for fluid and things like that and compressibility. So yeah, that was what my exposure was. And again, I enjoyed the exposure that I had, and don't feel like I missed out on anything by not being a part of a resuscitation attempt. I'm a more slow-paced person, so I would prefer that anyway. If you have any questions about emergency medicine, about how family medicine physicians or residents intertwine into that whole system, please let me know. I can answer based on my experience, and just give some additional insight. So yeah, I'm Shan. This is Dream with Shan. I am a family medicine resident going into my 10th block of 13 blocks of residency. Soon I will be a second year resident, somebody's senior. Oh, cannot believe it. Oh my God. But I'm here to share my experience with you. I'm here to share my personal opinions, not the opinions of anyone else. My personal experiences, not the experiences of anyone else. From perspective of a person who is a non-traditional student, a perspective of an individual who has worked multiple years in the workforce prior to medical school, from perspective of a parent, from the perspective of a minority woman, from the perspective of someone who is very big on advocacy in making the world and the workforce better for the people who are going to come after me. All right, so I appreciate if you would subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share this video so other people can learn about my experience as a family medicine resident going through the emergency room department. So if you haven't subscribed, click that button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, people.